Hey, welcome back to the Gilbertson Aero Factory. Today is Sunday, the 10th of November, 2024. This date is significant because it is the 249th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. So to all of my Marine Corps brothers and sisters, happy birthday. We don't look a day over 248. As you can see, I got all the work done yesterday. I got all that stuff removed that I put on at the wrong time. I finished buttoning up the top skin to the aft spar. So I'll go back and do what I did last Thursday, which is attach the flat brace and the aileron gap fairing. Before I get into it, a couple of questions that came through on the channel that I thought, I'll just talk about them right here. The first one was asking what I had picked out, or if I had picked out an engine and prop combo. This is something I know very, very little about, and I would love to get your opinions on some good resources to learn more about engines. So basically I'm saying somewhere between 180 and 200 horse fuel injected engine with a constant speed prop. But the different like model numbers of Lycoming engines and slant valve or angle valve or what, that stuff's all a mystery to me. I need to learn a lot about it. So that's the first one. The second question was somebody asking if I'd made any money off this channel yet. The answer is a simple no. My channel has not reached the threshold for monetization yet. Getting pretty close, I think. It needs to be a few different metrics, but basically 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the previous 12 months. I had crossed the 4,000 hour mark quite a long time ago, but since my long break, that's sort of fallen off, and I'm sitting at like 970 something subscribers. But let's say that sometime in the next couple of months I cross over into the world of monetization. I realistically could probably expect a few pennies a month or something. I think that the people who make money doing this, well, first off, they're not really niche channels like airplane builders, unless you're like the Paydies, of course. But I think that you need to have like a single video needs to get close to like 50,000 views before it even starts to make any real money. Anyways, that's that. I'm going to get to this and we'll talk more in the voiceover. Thanks for being here. Catching you on the other side. Let's build an airplane. Okay, here we go again, back from more. Going ahead and putting it all back together like I did on Thursday, except for more correct this time. I want you to notice on the television in the background, that is Tim's channel, T-Flight. I've told you about his channel before. You need to check him out. He's building an RV-8. He is caught up to and past me now. And he just lives down the road from me. So I'll put a link to his channel in the description. He's doing a much better job than I am at building this thing. And so I'm actually kind of happy that he has moved ahead of me because now I can start watching his work. Like, for example, before I start working on my ailerons, which he is just beginning right now. Which also causes me to think about what I'm going to do next after I finish this stuff today. I can start working on flaps and ailerons, but also, you know, I still haven't repaired the leaks in the both tanks. I still have to mount the control surfaces on the empennage because if you recall, such a long time ago, those rod end bearings were back ordered. They finally came in. So all that stuff is sitting in a guest bedroom. I have not done any fiberglass work, so I could do the tips on my empennage and that sort of thing. I haven't done any kind of plumbing work inside of my wings. There's a lot of stuff that I can still do. Obviously, it all needs to get done. The order of those things is not necessarily of consequence. I was looking at Sport Air workshops for for doing like fiberglass and composites. It's something that's completely foreign to me, like all of this, to be honest. So yeah, that's something I would like to do. Let's see, getting ready to flip the wing over. I was talking here. I don't know if you noticed what I decided to do, since the wing was already in that orientation, was I did that row of rivets that attached the skin to the aileron gap fairing. And then you might see me here in a minute fooling around with that aileron bracket and that channel, that big doubler that I had to remove yesterday. They still weren't completely apart. Those are really, really long rivets, and it took quite a bit of work to get those disassembled. So I did that today, and now, okay, since this is moving fast, sped up, I should tell you as I go through this right here, I'm doing all of the sort of normal sized rivets for the aileron gap fairing, and I'll use the same size rivets for most of the flap brace, and that is the AN 474-4 rivet. Why does that matter? Because I drilled out like 90 or 95 rivets yesterday, and most of them were AN 470-4 rivets. The only ones that aren't are the ones where the spar meets the end of a rib or one of the doublers around the aileron brackets, or the very inboard portion near that spar doubler, which means I wasn't really sure if I was going to have enough of those rivets, and I was actually thinking about giving Tim a call to see if he could spare a few until I could get an order from Spruce. And then I flipped over the fold in that little yellow microfiber cloth and found out that I had dumped a few out there. And right here, I'm going to show you exactly how many AN 474-4 rivets I have left after completing this. So here's the deal. I'm just about done getting this all riveted. There were a couple, I'm going to say 4 in a row down there that I ended up not liking and drilling out. The ones, the longer rivets, not that long, but AN 474-5 rivets that go through the aft spar and then into aft spar, flat brace, and the end of the rib. They're butted up so close to the rib that you can tip them over, or I can tip them over when I'm riveting them, or both. Also using the cup set or the universal set for the rivet gun, it's easy if you're trying to split your attention between looking at the bucking bar and looking at the head of the rivet gun to get a little bit wonky as you're going, and splitting the rivet, splitting the dome head, or putting an egregious smiley face in there. So there were 4 in there that I didn't like, and since I'm pretty practiced at removing rivets, I just went ahead and drilled them out and replaced them. And then when I get to the very inboard end, which is kind of where you're looking at me right here, almost to the end, I said before that very last, or very first, I guess, depending on which direction you're counting from, rivet that goes through the big spar doubler and all of that, I said that hole is just, at this point, needs to be upsized. I decided that there was a second one in there that when I put the rivet in there today, that hole was just too roomy for an AN 474, in this case, -9 rivet. So I tagged that one as well. And I will get some big fat -5 Cherry Max rivets, I think, to put in there. I will call Van's Builder Support to confirm that that's okay to do, but I'm pretty confident that that's okay. So that's basically all done. I have not reattached the aileron bracket. I'm going to wait till I get the rivets that I want to do that properly, and also reevaluate if there's a portion of that I want to rebuild. I think I can probably just upsize it. So I'm doing something that I really thought I was going to do last spring, which is notch out the end of that wing cradle and finally place this wing into the cradle. To quote my favorite line from Grease, we're going to come back here and we're going to ring that victory bell, just like we always wanted to.
So, anyways, I'll cut that out and get that thing hung up and kind of scratch my head and think about what to do next, because I am going to be waiting on some stuff from Spruce. I think maybe I'll just start the prep work for maybe the ailerons, the construction similar to what I did on the rudder with the stiffeners and whatnot. So anyways, we'll see about that tomorrow. I'm happy to have that big snafu mostly behind me. And with the wing going into the cradle, there's so much room for activities, except that the other part of my garage is full of motorcycles that also need to be worked on. So I appreciate you being here. Please check out Tim's channel. You won't regret it. You'll learn more than you learn watching mine. See ya.